What sort of unholy Christmas tree farm is this, Gladys? Gladys?
Manny, check out this wheelbarrow, will ya? With a couple of ATV nubby tires on the back and a 2-stroke lawnmower engine, we could make one sweet go-kart.
This thing all over the forest?
You will once I get that 2-stroke in there. Ooh, careful, Manny! With the harmonic balancer turned off, those pumps might shake that tree apart. Oh! If we shook the tree down, those pumps would dislodge, and I could make high-lift shocks out of them for the bone wagon. Hold on. I'm going to unbalance that wheel with some of these weights. That'll shake her down for sure. Okay, just give me a second to balance these doggies.
No trailer hitch on the...
That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little.
No trailer hitch on the...
Hey, while you have that off, let me try moving those weights around some more. Oh! Hey, Manny! What are you doing? Manny, until now we scraped along the ground like rats. But from now on, we soar like eagles. Like eagles on pogo sticks!
What a relief. I was getting concerned that our transportation wasn't ostentatious enough.
Get in, or are you afraid of heights? Manny, what are you doing? Don't you know what's on the other side of that gate?
Yeah, the way out of the forest.
Demon beavers, Manny. They'll make you into a dam.
Relax, Geppetto. I'm not made of wood.
But Manny, they don't use wood. Hey!
This scene actually, this is the beavers here, another good example of like, you know, why you have to have coroutines in games, because you know, at least in adventure games, you have to have like a script that just says, how's this beaver going to behave? You know, what's he going to do? And at the time that people were making games, you know, the scripting languages weren't popular yet. You had a lot of games in C, and somebody would have been trying to write in their game engine, in their game loop, and go run the beavers now. And in a scene like this, you had to be able to take that and say, this is how a beaver behaves. Right now, I'm thinking like a beaver. How would a beaver? He's going to crawl over here, and he's going to chew on these things, and then he'll get tired, and then he'll jump over here. The same thing with the pigeons and anything else. And that, again, it's like I didn't have to think about the fact that they were needed. They were obviously needed. I mean, that's one of the things that Scum had made very obvious. Like, you cannot make adventure games without coroutines. They didn't even call them coroutines, though. I mean, we didn't even know what to call them for a long time until, I mean,
Threads.
They were just threads, yeah. And actually, well, that was one of the early experiments. I actually tried to use actual Windows threads, because this was a Windows game. It wasn't a DOS game. This is a Windows game. We can use actual threads. And I initially did try and actually have different Lua threads. It was just so heavyweight. Machines are so tight, and it was so much overhead, and it was so complex. And it was like, no, we need something lightweight. It needs to be really focused on what the game does.
I forgot my tar ladle. Ooh, something has sucked the marrow out. That road leads out of the forest, I'm sure. But I don't think I'd get very far on foot. Plus, that road leads out of the forest, I'm sure. But I don't think I'd get very far on foot. Plus, how could I leave without Glottis? Okay, the beasts of Black River are blowing bubbles at the bottom, so let's power on through, huh, Glot?
Manny, look at that badass gate. I can't drive through that. We have to find the key.
Híjole.
Well, this is the area that Tim and I would make a lot of jokes about because, you know, producer type person, I need to shorten the game, cut it somehow. So this area, I would, you know, say, hey, we need to cut the beavers. Does that make sense?
He's like, no way, not cutting it.
Oh, well, the whole time we'd fight about it, and it was that one kind of thing where that was the story I told a little earlier about the ship, you know, and he said, Leslie, a game is like a ship, and the ship is going, and it's going to keep going until it stops. And I was like, what kind of logic is that? It has to finish at some point. So I was like, look, the beavers got to go, and they'd always be on the list. And he actually drew me a little pictures on a napkin of like the armadillo, the beavers on fire. And he's like, why did you cut me, Leslie? Please don't cut me, Leslie. And he would just poke me.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that sign.
This is like a callback to those brave young men and their jaunty jalopies. You ever seen that movie? Because those outrageous young men, they're flying machines.
You know, that I remember.
There are these two crazy movies from the 60s, which were all about, it was kind of like the Wacky Races, but a real-life version.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
Flying machines.
And it was like one of those movies, it was kind of like Wild, Wild, Wild World or whatever. Like
It's a Mad
World, where all these people are chasing some crazy prize. But the cars in it always had things like that. I think that is a direct lift. Like one of the cars would have these hydraulic shocks that lifted up or just crazy extending things.
Right.
It looks like some sort of warning sign. They'll tear you apart bone by bone and build with you a human throne. Their buck-toothed king will sit upon what once was you, but now is gone. This key unlocks the gates of hell. Steady traveler, use it well. Can't pass up an old creepy key. It's the key to the gates of hell, I seem to recall. Okay, the beasts of Black River are blowing bubbles at the bottom, so let's power on through, huh, Glot?
Manny, look at that badass gate. I can't drive through that. We have to find the key.
Híjole. That road leads out of the forest, I'm sure. But I don't think I'd get very far on foot. Plus, how could I leave without Glottis? It's the key to the gates of hell, I seem to recall. Doesn't do much by itself. Doesn't do much by itself. Doesn't do much by itself. This outer gate is huge. I'll need Glottis to open it.
Manny, I don't know if I like driving over people.
They can't feel it, they're dead.
You're dead. I wouldn't want to drive over you.
That's because you and I, Glottis, are friends.
Aw, Manny. Hello? Miss Colomar! We're here to save you!
Hey, lay off the racket, the whole town's asleep.
But I want a drag race! When they get a load of my car, we're gonna be the talk of the town!
You're right. We're gonna have to find a good place to hide that road show. Speaking of hiding, I wonder if Mitch is here already. I'm gonna go see what I can stir up. Not a bad piece of real estate, actually. It's got potential. I have bigger things on my mind right now than condiments. Mr. Flores, I'm ready to take you now.
Manny Calavera, is that you? Didn't you used to be taller?
I'm looking for a woman named Mercedes Colomar.
Well, no one's come through town by that name, and you can take it from me. I, too, am looking for someone, so I watch the comings and goings around here very carefully.
Who are you looking for?
Well, if you must know, it's about my wife. I got word that she passed away not long after I, and that she too was crossing the land of the dead on foot. It is said that all lost souls come to Rubacava, so I came here to wait for her.
The character Celso is played by a really funny actor called Peter Lorre, and when he came into the studio on the first day, he had this real look of apprehension about him, and it turned out the word in Hollywood was that Grim Fandango was code name for Star Wars Episode 1 casting. So when he was coming in for the project, people were telling him, "You're going to be going in, and George Lucas is going to be there, and they're going to be flying you up to the ranch." And he was terribly disappointed when he walked in, and the only person in the studio was me.
How do you know your wife hasn't gone ahead of you?
Oh, Manny, if she had arrived here first, surely she would have waited for me.
You must love her very much, Celso.
Yes, this is true. Of course, she also has all of my money.
I'll help you find your wife. What did she look like?
Oh, here. I got this from the DOD and made copies to hand out. Isn't she something?
She must have been beautiful with skin.
Weren't we all?
I'm here to reclaim that walking stick.
I broke it over the head of some hideous monsters in the forest.
So, know a good place to stay in town?
What's your price range?
Somewhere around the high end of nothing.
Then maybe, young man, it's time you started thinking about a job.
Can you get me a job here?
Have any skills?
Sales?
Well, that does qualify you for a certain position, but we only have one mop. I'm sorry, Manuel. I've got to get this place ready to open.
Right. I'll let you know if I see your wife.
She'll be the one asking for her beloved Celso.
Are you sure I can't sleep in the back?
There's only room for one.
Gladys, you gotta hide that car.
No, all right. Just give me a few more minutes in the driver's seat here.
I really wanted to have this moment of Lasco bonding with Glottis, not like through the magic of cars and talking about engines and stuff. And cars bring people together, talking about.
That's the way back to the forest. The spiders, the city, my old job. Let's hope I never have to take that road again.
I really wanted to have this moment of Lasco bonding with Glottis, not like through the magic of cars and talking about engines and stuff. And cars bring people together, talking about engines.
Well, it's
because I never had sports.
internal combustion.
I never liked sports. I was not into the manly unifier of sports. But
Me neither.
But cars you can talk about with the toughest of dudes.
That's true. That's
Like-
true.
Gladys, you gotta hide that car.
No, all right. Just give me a few more minutes in the driver's seat here.
Gladys, you gotta hide that car.
No, all right. Just give me a few more minutes in the driver's seat here.
It's Celso's wife. Actually, I don't think skin would help. Gladys, you gotta hide that car.
No, all right. Just give me a few more minutes in the driver's seat here.
I don't want to mess up my blade. My scythe. I like to keep it next to where my heart used to be. Ooh.
Yeah, tourists. You gotta watch your step around here, stranger. Rubicava ain't the quaint little port town she used to be. Well, hell, looks like there's a new vessel in town. Pardon me whilst I go check her out.
Well, actually, it's mostly stock with a few mods here and there.
So, with those...
Gladys, you gotta hide that car.
In a minute, Manny. I'm talking to Mr. Dockmaster here. There was this one high-pitched whine it was making, really grating noise, you know? And I searched and searched, but I couldn't find the source of the noise until we pulled in here.
Was it the blower?
No, it was Manny screaming in the back like a cat tied to a cruise missile.
That's a good one.
Hola.
Hey, Manny, Dockmaster Velasco here says he's got a place we can dry dock the bone wagon for a while.
Oh, yeah. We can't leave a beauty like this out in the fog, or her chrome will get pitted.
Pitted? Did you hear that, Manny?
You folks gonna stay in Rubicava for a spell?
I might be here a while. Is there any work in this town?
Well, there's lots of work down at the docks, but it's all union work. And I just don't see you in that union.
We're here looking for a woman named Mercedes Colomar.
I'm not too good with names. Did she have any distinguishing marks or a tattoo?
Not that she showed me.
Well, like I said, I'm as good with names as you are with the fog.
How do you get around here with all the mist?
When you've strolled these docks as long as I have, Pilgrim, you know where you are by the smell of the sea, by the sound of the lonely foghorn, by the icy touch of the cold, salty air.
Wow. Manny, could I have an eye patch?
Can I just ask, what is under the eye patch? Because I know it's not an eye.
Oh, well, when I was alive, I had an eye patch like this. This one's just for the phantom pain. And that one eye socket used to scream like a banshee when the trade winds blew, so I plugged her.
Hey, Manny, we were in the middle of a conversation here.
Hey, okay. You sure a woman named Mercedes Colomar never came through this town?
She might have. I don't know. I told you the first time, I'm no good with names.
He's fine right where he is. Ever seen this woman?
Oh, if this is the woman you're looking for, take my advice. Forget about her. She sailed out of here weeks ago in a cozy portside cabin built for two, and she wasn't alone.
How do you know she sailed out of here? I don't believe it.
It's a tough break, Junior, but you gotta face it. Here, look it up in my port log if you want it in writing. 6 weeks ago on a Tuesday. Ticket for 2, paid in full. I cracked the champagne on the bow myself.
Hey, Manny, we were in the middle of a conversation here.
Hey, okay.
Look, I know how you feel, son. Once I lost a very special lady myself. I waved to her from the docks as she sailed out of port, and I never saw her again.
What was her name?
The SS La Mancha was her name, but don't make me talk about her, because I just...
You sure a woman named Mercedes Colomar never came through this town?
She might have. I don't know. I told you the first time, I'm no good with names.
He's fine right where he is. How about in the attic?
That's the boss's office. You can sleep there when you're the boss.
I could sleep out here on the counter.
Our customers may all be dead, Manny, but we still care about hygiene.
I could sleep under the sink in the kitchen.
The rats would steal your toes in your sleep.
Look, I need a job and I need a place to stay.
I told you, you can have mine when I'm done waiting for my wife.
Look, I need a job and I need a place to stay.
I told you, you can have mine when I'm done waiting for my wife.
You sure a woman named Mercedes
She might have. I don't know. I told you the first time, I'm no good with names.
I left my tow truck back in my other suit. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope.
Wanted to have this moment of Lasco bonding with Glottis, and that, like, through the magic of cars and talking about engines and stuff. And cars bring people together, talking about engines.
Was
because I never had sports.
Internal combustion.
I never liked sports. I was not into the manly unifier of sports, but
me neither.
But cars you can talk about with the toughest of dudes.
That's true. That's true.
Town again. don't really want to do that. Velasco's logbook says Celso's wife took a bunk with a hunk. Gladys, you gotta hide that car.
In a minute, Manny. I'm talking to Mr. Dockmaster here.
Gladys, you gotta hide that car.
In a minute, Manny. I'm talking to Mr. Dockmaster here.
You sure a woman named Mercedes Colomar never came through this town?
She might have. I don't know. I told you the first time, I'm no good with names.
It's Celso's wife. Actually, I don't think skin would help. I don't really want to do that.
Forget about her. It's a tough break, Junior, but you gotta face it.
Celso, your wife sailed out of here 2 months ago with another man. It's all in there.
Oh, Manny, is there a greater constant in nature than the treachery of women?
Forget about her, Celso.
Have you forgotten yours? I'm going after her. You take over my job here. This mop at least will never let you down. That compass in the handle will sure come in handy too.